This course syllabus again. So basically we have two things. So one is the full stack and one is only for the Angular. Okay. So some things are common like JS, JavaScript. JavaScript will be here also, here also. Then after JavaScript, Angular means once JavaScript basic concepts are completed, then we create a small app in JavaScript. Okay. That will be here also. That will be here also. Then after JavaScript, we have Angular. Then two live projects. Again, one I complete, other you have to complete. Okay, that I won't guarantee that if you are completing or not because no one completes the second project. Okay, so Tailor project will be over here also. Here it might be three. Sorry, here in full stack it might be three because one API related project will be there and two Angular project. Okay, in for just Angular it will be two projects. Interview preparation will be here on here also. Now in interview preparation, what is covered? So when we start JavaScript, it is just a basic concept. Now what we are going to start. But in interview preparation, all the advanced question like hosting, closure, ES6 functions, callback, right? Promise, everything gets covered in the interview preparation. Again, some Angular related questions also. Theoreticals also. Means while explaining the topics also we complete. But some things are there which we cannot cover in a topic, so that we cover in a interview preparation. And mock interviews will happen, those who are giving interviews right now. But let's say you are going to give interviews after 4 or 5 months, so again you can join the next batch. And those who join right now, let's say you joined right now, you completed till JavaScript or you completed till Angular basic, then somehow you didn't complete, so you can always join the next batch. In this batch also one more group I create for the previous repeaters, so you don't have to pay it again. It is just one time. Once you pay, you can repeat the batches. Okay, so mock interviews only for the people who are actually giving interviews. So again, we take one session where we work on your CV, Naukri, and your LinkedIn also, because again Indeed also we cannot limit ourselves just to Naukri or LinkedIn. Indeed also we have to try, right? So these are the things we are going to take care. Just in full stack, we have SQL, SQL database concept, then uh, API, .NET Core API, and one project. So that's how the project gets completed in your full stack. So when SQL will, this full stack will start. So once our JavaScript is completed, then parallelly in the evening, we will start connecting for this. Okay. Again, the .NET course is not full-fledged because if we talk about .NET, there are so many things. So our focus is the API development only. Database concept. Once database concept is done, then we directly jump to the C sharp, because before starting API, I need to explain C sharp also. Again, as I said, C sharp also so many things are there. We cannot learn everything in this time of period. So whatever you should know before starting the API, so that we will cover. Okay. So with this course, in the full stack, you will be in a suitable position that you will confidently write the APIs. Either let's say you talk about the JWT authentication, one-to relationship, one-to-many, creating stored procedure and doing that in your API, everything. Okay. So all those things will be completed because we are going to create a projects and possibly whatever the Angular project we create, right? So those APIs also we will only create by then if we are done with at least API development. Okay. Or else I normally create it and you will only use it. Fine. Again, installment is there. So, like Angular 2 installment and full stack 3 installments. So, as per you, you can pay it. Any questions now around this? Most of you are working. Once today and tomorrow is the demo session. Once it is done, then I will provide you a form where you can fill in your details. So, I get to know okay, how many people are having how much of experience, right? So, if everyone is experienced, I can skip some basic things. So, that time we can use for checking the remaining things. Okay. Yeah. Any questions now, or we can start from today?
What will be evening time like for SQL plus
Evening,
.NET API?
yeah. Evening it will be around 9 because till 8:30 I have calls only because our calls
Okay,
are in the evening. So many, almost average 3 calls will be there in every day. So by 9 only I will get free.
okay.
Anyone else having any question? Again, I forgot JNA and your prompt engineering, everything will be there. So once we start the projects parallelly, we start using all the AI tools what we should know. How many of you knows JavaScript already? Just how many of you know JavaScript already? Okay, again, it's a live session, so unless you don't speak up, I won't get to know. Okay, if you don't, most of you don't know, or even if one of you don't know, so I will teach like that. Okay, so that's why I need that count. Anyway, so today and tomorrow, anyway I have to do it because once the confirmation is there, then only you will provide all the information. Then I can decide my plan. Okay. So for JavaScript, normally 2 weeks will be needed just to cover the basic DOM manipulation and everything. Some of the concept you might already know, but obviously you will get to learn something because while working on Angular, we don't use JavaScript that much. But for interview, whatever the concept we see now and after interview preparation, both are getting needed. Okay, fine. Laptop is also getting out. Just this is will be your 34th batch will be there. So till now 33 batch has been done. So I'm doing this what do we say after 2 or 3 years of experience I had. So previously I just used to take .NET batches, then Angular JS and React JS was there. So I just started that. Now it is Angular plus .NET. Some React JS will be over here, but as I mentioned in the course distribution earlier, it will be on Saturday, Sunday. That is not part of this, but you can be there and learn. Okay. Now, so here I will create one folder for JS. Let's open this. Okay. So I will go with very basic today from the JavaScript only. Most of the things you might be already knowing, but okay, just be there. Fine. So when we talk about JavaScript, what kind of a JavaScript language is? What do we say about JavaScript? What do we say about JavaScript? JavaScript is which type of language? Anyone?
JavaScript is a client-side language.
Right? client side and a scripting language. So since it is a client side language, can we write a backend code with it? Can we write backend code with JavaScript?
We can write, but we will have to use a framework of JavaScript like Node.js
Right?
and
Node.js, but basically it's a JavaScript. So previously we can say like JavaScript was limited only to the client side, but now with the Node.js we can write the backend code also, right? Then, so again JavaScript we can use in mobile app also. You know, native mobile app development you might have heard. So either if we talk about PhoneGap, Ionic, right? Those are also nothing but around the JavaScript framework. So if we talk about Ionic, right? So if you create a simple project in Ionic, that will be delivering the mobile app, but the same project can deliver you Android app also and the iOS app also. So even if you learn Angular, their Ionic also framework is also there, which they use for native development. Next.js is also there, which you can use. React Native is also there, which you can use for developing the mobile app, right? So again, JavaScript is not only limited to your browser, so many things are there. So that's why very specific openings are also there just around the JavaScript. People who only are good with JavaScript, right? They have that is altogether different people, you can say. Those who are only good with JavaScript because they are not bound to one framework. You can give them Next.js, Plastic.js, right? You can create a Windows application also. You know, Zoom, Teams, Slackers, all those apps you might have seen that are created by using Plastic.js. So Plastic.js is a JavaScript framework which allows you to create a Windows application. Okay, so many different frameworks or environments are there where JavaScript is now getting used. Okay, but basic stays the same, right? Now I will create the script. Now this is an HTML page. Now tell me how many scripts I can have. Is there any limitation on how many scripts we can have?
No.
Right? We can have n number of scripts. One script I can put it in my head tag, one script over here, right? Then let's say I have my HTML content. Let's say hello. Then I have p tag. Right? If I run this page, what will be the execution cycle? Which exec or let's say everywhere I will write console dot log 111. Then here I will have 22. Then here I will have 333. So what will be the execution? How my page will execute and what will execute first?
Head tag will, I think, execute first.
Right? Whenever you load a page onto your browser, it renders from top to bottom. Rendering happens from top to bottom, right? So it will first check head tag in a head tag, whatever we have. So it got this script tag, so it will execute this. Then body, then this tag, so this will execute. Then h1 will render, then a p tag will render, then your script tag at the last. This will be the sequence. Okay, let me. Oh, I don't have live server. I think. Let me go. All right. To see 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay, these are your inline script. What other way is there to write the script? This is one way where you directly open the script tag and write your JavaScript code. What other way is there?
we can create external file.
Right?
Yeah.
We can have an external file. Let's say I said main.js and this main.js, let's say console.log. Okay, and this I can load. So let's say after this inline, I will load script tag. And I will have src dot slash and main.js. So now first this will execute, then this will execute, and then remaining. Again, this script tag either you put it over in the head tag or you put it in the body tag. It will work the same. Reload. See external JS. Again, sequence will also follow the same. Fine. So you can have as many number of script in your HTML page. Sequencing will be from top to bottom page parsing will happen. and that's how it will render. Okay. Now, so if your application or the page you are creating is a website, so you might have heard that, or this is an interview question like where you should keep your script. So if your application is a kind of a website, or on the page load you have some code using DOM manipulation, you are doing some code. So your script tag should be at the end of the page. Okay. On the page load, if there is some code involved with the page, means you are reading some text box on selecting something when you are doing something on DOM manipulation, on the page load you are writing some code with the DOM, so that your script tag should be at the end of the page, because once your all the HTML code is getting created, after that only you will get the access. If you put this on the head, till that time your HTML elements are not rendered, so that will break, right? But let's say on the page load you don't have any code, you are not doing anything, so it doesn't matter where you keep, either you keep it at the bottom or the head or over here at the starting, right? But if on the page load you have some code which involves your element, so your script tag should be at the end of the page. Okay, we will see the proper example of this. Okay, now let me create one more data types .html. So for every topic, I will be creating a different page. You also, while practicing, do the same. So if you want to find the code quickly, you can do that. In same also, in Angular also, we will follow the same. Okay. Now script tag. Now what are the data types we have available in JavaScript? Or first of all, what is data type? What do we say about the data type? What is data type? Anyone?
Data type like string, integer,
Yeah, those are various
boolean.
data type. But what you will say if someone asks you, ki, what is data type?
Data type is a container where all our values.
Right? So by main data type, we can identify like this, whatever the value you have stored into your variable, it belongs to which category? Does it hold string, number, boolean, date, right? Array, object, right? So in every programming language, see, idea is very clear. If you learn one technology properly, learning another technology is not a big thing, because in every almost technology, basic concepts are common. Means either you talk about JavaScript or .NET or Java or PHP. Python is a very different technology. If someone knows Python, things are very different in Python. But apart from Python, remaining technology, almost similarity is there. Okay, so data types. Data types are common in every technology. Yeah, according to the technology, some things will change. In JavaScript, we just have 5 to 6 proper data types. But when we same talk about .NET, it will have more. In Java also, it will have some more, right? So according to the technology, you will have some less data type. If it is a backend, obviously you will have more data type because their compiler and everything is great. But with JavaScript is run on the browser, so we have very limited memory, right? So data types will be common in every technology. Then functions. These are also common. In JavaScript also you will find the function, in .NET also, in Java also you will find the function. For loop, right? We can say loops. These are also common. In JavaScript also we have, in .NET also we have, in Java also we have. For loop is the common in everywhere. But again some extra loops are also there. Like for in, for up, we have in JavaScript. For each we have it over here, in .NET also we have for each. In Java I'm not aware, but loops are common. Then conditions, if else, switch, these are also common. While, do like, do while, these are also common, right? So these 4 topics will be common in every technology. Doesn't matter it is a front end, back end or not. All the technology will have it. So if let's say I'm giving a real example, from TCS, we have previous to previous batch, we had a person who was basically a .NET developer. But when you join Indian MNCs, there is no particular technology that they will bound you, right? Even though you say ki you .NET, you know .NET only, but if the project vacancy is not there, they might assign you to a Java project also, right? When you go into a MNC also, they evaluate you on a one technology, but what this doesn't happen with the experienced people, but normally with the fresher. Even they say, let's say there we have a fresher and he has learned React.js, .NET or Angular. They just take that language just for clearing the interview. They will evaluate you on that technology. But once you go in, they won't, doesn't matter. They will ask you to work on anything. Either it can be testing also, .NET, Java, SharePoint, anything. Obviously, they will provide the training, right? So that person was only limited to the .NET, but he was asked to work on the Java. Otherwise, he has to be on the bench. But again, in .NET, we have controller, model, services, everything. So same thing is there also. So with AI, because again, now AI is there, so that is just a great help, right? So with AI, if you have the basic common understanding of any language, you can quickly learn. Because the project was existing, he was able to understand things quickly and he was okay. And he delivered the project also successfully, right? So now you cannot limit it to one technology. Just like with JavaScript also, in Angular also. Once you know one technology properly, JavaScript and Angular, you understand everything. How does web application works? How what happens when you render the page? Then either it is Next.js, React.js, native, you can learn. Obviously, with little bit of AI help or training, you can do it very easily. In my company, I am working as an Angular developer, but I am taking intros for React.js also and the React Native also. Again, obviously, I'm taking the interview questions from ChatGPT only, but I can ask it according to my experience with the Angular, right? So things are common. So be master in one technology, then or keep your basic fundamentals very clear that you can learn the remaining things also. Okay. Now, so we will see the data type. Now, when we talk about JavaScript, what are the primitive data types we have in JavaScript? What data types we have in JavaScript? Sorry, voice is not clear.
Primitive and non-primitive.
Yeah, so in primitive, what we have,
Primitive means like immutable. We cannot change it. String,
right?
Boolean,
We
number,
have string, boolean, number, and what is remaining?
undefined,
Not
symbol.
those are there, but what else is there? String, boolean, number. One major
Yes.
is there. What is left? String, number, boolean. What is there? One more thing is there.
Null.
Yeah, null and undefined is there, but one more is there. Date. Okay. So these are your primitive data type. Again, you can say null, undefined, NaN. These are also again data type. Then we have object and array. Again, one symbol is also there, right? We don't use that much, so let it be. So in primitive, we have string, boolean, number, date, null and undefined. These are type of a value, you can say. Those points to the object family, and NaN is also there, means not a number. Okay. NaN. Then object and array. So these are the data types we have in JavaScript. Okay. Now, how do you create a variable? So in JavaScript, we can create variable with the var, let, and the constant. Okay. For now, we will just play around the var. So var, okay, again you can create, you can write, you can create variable, function, everything inside the script tag only. So var, let's say course name equal to something. So now when you put the double quote, that will be treated as a string. So here if you see, if I hover the mouse, see the data type it has taken is of the string because double quotes. So whatever you put inside the double quote, that's get treated as a string. Double quotes or single quote. Angular. Okay. So this is how you create a variable. Then let's say var duration. Either you double quote or you use single quote. Okay. One and the same thing. 3 months. If you hover again over here, see, it is also representing the string. It is also representing the string. So whatever you put inside a single quote or double quote, that will be treated as a string only. Var roll number. Here I am storing directly 1 to 1. Now this will belongs to the number family. See, it is pointing to the number. Var product price. Doesn't matter if it is an integer or a decimal point, everything belongs to number. If you know .NET or Java, you might know that for integer we have a different type, for decimal point we have a different. In .NET, just to hold integer we have int, int32, int64, double, boolean, big int. So many data types are there in just int only. We have float and boolean for, and decimal also for handling the point values. But again, as I said, according to the technology, your data types will change. But in JavaScript, we just have number. Either it is integer or decimal point, everything will go inside the number only. Okay. See, this also points to the number only. So either it is integer or decimal point, everything points to the number. Then boolean, so is active. Either it can be true or it can be false. So boolean has only two values, either true or false. Okay. Where current date. How do we get the current date in JavaScript? I need the current date.
New date object.
Right? New
New date.
date.
New date.
This will get you the current date. What do we mean by current date? Which date it gets you? From where it gets his date? So whatever the date, you have it over here. If you change, let's say, if you change this date to something else, that will get you. Okay. Now, so these are the data types we have. Now, as I said, whatever you store in double quote, that gets treated as a boolean, string. So see over here, where my value is equal to double quotes. I'm in double quotes, I'm putting as true. What should be the data type of my value?
String.
Right? So string only. Doesn't matter value, what value you are storing, either it is string, number, anything. You have enclosed that in a double quote, so that will be treated as string only. Not, it won't understand the value, what value you have stored. You have enclosed in double quote or single quote, everything will be treated as a string only. Clear? Okay. Now, this is how you create a variable. So when you create a variable, there are some rules of creating the variable. There are some rules how you can create the variable. Anyone knows what are those? What are the rules we have when you create a variable? Again, rules doesn't matter. Everyone has knowledge in one technology. Rules, variable declaration rules are almost same. What can be the rules? How you can declare the variable? We have some rules for that. Anyone knows? Can we have space inside the variable name?
No.
Obviously no, right? So that is the rule. If we cannot have a space, no space allowed in variable name. Okay. Camel casing is not a rule. That is our standard of programming, right? But that is not something you will categorize as a rule.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you follow it or not, it won't give you error. But if you have a space, this will give you error, right? You cannot start with a number. See, you cannot start with a number. That is another rule. Your variable name should not start with a number. Okay, this is your second rule. Variable name cannot start with a number. Do we have any more rule? Have you seen variables starting with special character? If we say variable cannot start with a number, but in between you can have it. In ending you can have it. Just you cannot start with a number. Okay. So have you seen variables which is starting with any special character? No,
Yes.
right? Which special character you have seen,
Dollars.
right? So if I use at the rate, I'm not able to use. But if I use dollar, it is allowed. If I use underscore, it is allowed. One more character is there. What is that? I think two or three only are allowed. Not is also not there. Dollar and underscore is allowed. One more special character is there. But most of the special characters you cannot use. Okay. In between again you can have. Okay, sorry. In between also you cannot have. Okay. So variable name or simply it is not only starting, in between also you can't use special characters in variable name apart from dollar and underscore. Okay, so only these two special character symbols are allowed to have in the variable name. These are the rules you can say we have while declaring the variable. Now these same rules will get applied to your function name and your parameter name, even in your object key name also. These are the basically four things we create: variable, parameter name, function name, and object key name. In object we have key value pair data, we field value pair data, so that field or key name. Same rule gets followed over there also. Okay. Now when we talk about intro or everything, no one is going to ask you, but you should know it. You don't know who will ask you what, because when you create an object, okay, where student object, this is just an example I'm giving. Okay, we will see object properly. We will have one session dedicated just for the object. Okay, let's say in object I have name something, well, some value over here. In new laptop they have given copilot button. In the left side we have control, just like previously we had control button on the right side after the space bar, but that control button they got replaced with GitHub Copilot shortcut. So every time we go over there, it opens that app. Okay, I have name, city. Okay, now this is very fine. This is your object. Here also you can see you cannot have a space. You cannot start with a number. The same rules, whatever you given over here, same follows over here also. But from API call, you are getting an object. Let's say your API is the technology where having a space in your variable is allowed. Okay, so from API call you are getting the data, but in that key name you have a space. But in JavaScript you cannot have a space over here. But the data you are getting from API, that has the space, so you also need to match the same prototype, right? So we can have it, but you have to enclose that in a space. Let's say city space name. Now it is allowed. And while accessing also you will access like this only. Okay. So as I said, only over here we have some exception that we can have a space. Otherwise, in normal variable and normal key value, you cannot have a space. Okay. So whatever the rules you said, same follows over apart from this. Okay. Again, hardly one or two times you might be able to get some scenarios like this. Okay. So don't worry. Okay. So these are the rules we have when you create a variable. Now we have created variable. Let's say I need to print the values of this variable. So there in JavaScript we have console.log to print the variables. So let's say I will print you the date. I will show you what do you get in date. Save, reload. Okay, sorry, different page we have now. Data type. line number 37. Okay, our console is at line number 37. So same line number, you can see it over here, right? So see, when you write new date, so these are the things you get. You get date also, time also, time zone also. So you get so many things when you just write the new date. Date, time, and time zone. Three things you get. Okay. Let me add a debugger. How we add the debugger? How many ways are there to add the debugger?
We have to write debugger word.
Right. This is one way. What other way? If I
In
read-
browser, I think we can.
right? So in the browser. So see, we have added a debugger. So now my execution ran and stops over here, right? Or you can add a debugger over here also. See, now if you reload, first debugger will add stop at line number 19. See, it is stopping over here. Once I continue, it will go to the next line. Okay, line by line code execution. You can check over here what is the value you have by hovering on that variable name. Okay, so like this, you can add a debugger. So either you use console.log print or you can use alert box also. It's a pop-up and you can pass a value over here. Let's say my value, I'm passing it over here. So first console will get print, then your alert box will execute. Reload, continue. So see, whatever the value you had in that variable, that got printed in the alert box. But we normally go for console only because in case of alert, you have to click OK. Your browser will get stuck till you click the OK. So we go for console only. Okay. So you created all this variable. Now, if you have to change the value of this variable, right? So we created this course name variable. Let's say at line number 17, we create this variable. Then at line number 39, I want to change the variable value. So variable name equal to new value, React JS. So when you created the variable, you had stored Angular over there. So at line number 35, or 36, I'm accessing that variable console.log. Here I will say before. I want to understand the mess while printing. I want to give some message also. So like this, you can have. You can write some text into single quote or double quote, then plus, and then your variable name. Okay. So I can understand what was the purpose of this console. So here I'm printing the before value of course name, and then console.log. Either you double quote or single quote. After space, then again place your course name. So either you use plus or comma. Okay. So this is just some extra information you are adding while printing. Concatenation, you are doing it. So see now. I will add a debugger over here at line number 36. So at line number 36, we have Angular inside this variable. So it will print. See, before and Angular. Then we are printing date. Then I'm changing the variable value. Currently, my execution is at line number 39. So this still has Angular, but once this line executes, then my variable value will get changed. So see, course name we got React.js, and after also. So see, before it was Angular, after it was React.js. So this is how we change the variable value. Now, what are the variable we created? Where it is getting stored? Right? They might have some memory, right? So where it might get stored and how we can see those? Anyone? How we can see all these variables stored? Okay. So in browser, if you have a debugger, in sources tab, here you can see global we have window object. Okay. So here you can see course name. See over here, all the variable and the functions what you created over here, apart from some extra things which by default come from the window object, will be available over here. What else we have? Duration. See, duration. So whatever the variable you created, all you can found in a global object. Okay. So this is nothing but your memory representation, you can say. It's not an actual memory representation. It gets stored onto your computer's microprocessor memory. But yeah, here you can see it. Okay. Let me show you that also. Okay, how does value get changed? Fish. Okay. Currently I'm at line number 36. So at line number 36, you can see this variable has value angular. Okay. Let's change it. Now variable value got changed. You see, now it got changed. Understood? So in global memory, you can see whatever variable and functions you have, whatever basically you have created in your HTML page. Understood? Any doubt till now? Okay. Now we created this variable. We stored an string value. Here we have stored the string value only. Can I store integer value now over here? In this variable, can I store integer value? Will it give any error or warning, or will it work fine?
Working fine.
Will work fine.
Right, it will work fine. But in JavaScript, it is allowed. But if same thing, if you do in .NET or Java, you won't be able to do it. In TypeScript also, while working on Angular, if you created a variable and provided some data type, you can only store that type of data. That is called what we call as strongly typing. But in JavaScript, we don't have strongly typing. You created a variable, you store a string, you can store boolean, number, object, or anything you can store. There is no limitation. Okay. So see, previously we had that variable value as string, but now if you check it over here, okay, here it won't show, but the data type has got changed. It is considering for the string only what you initialize initially, but it is totally allowed. Okay, let's try to print it also. After 2 reload. See, nothing is breaking, and here you can see value is 123. So this is totally allowed in JavaScript, but in another language it is not possible. Because if you create a data type with particular variable, you can store only that type of data type into that variable, not any other. You will see this Angular. When you create a variable, you can assign a data type. So you can only store that type of data only, not other. Okay. Now this course name variable or this duration variable we have created at line number 19. At line number 26 or 27, I'm trying to create same variable with same name. Okay. Is it allowed or will it break? I'm trying to create two variables with the same name. Is it allowed or will it break?
Allowed.
Allowed? Let's see. Okay. So duration variable is already created. It has value 3. Check the global also. Duration 3 months. We have created one variable. Then at line number 27, again we are creating one more variable. Now it has changed to 6 months, but in the memory, if you see, oh, spelling mistake is there. That's why you were able to see. See, two variables are created because both had different spellings. We change it. That's why it was undefined. Let's try. Okay, we have duration, and in global memory you can see we have duration with the 3 months value. Okay, now at line number, where it is, at line number 27, again I'm creating the same variable with the same name and assigning different value. So in memory it is the same variable, just value got changed. So this is totally allowed in JavaScript. Again with the var, with latent constant it is not possible. Okay, you'll see that in interview preparation properly. But for now, remember, yeah, in JavaScript, if you are creating a variable with the var, same variable name can get repeated again and again. That is totally fine. Okay, clear all? Anyone having any doubt? I'm not explaining object and array because we will have one dedicated session for that where I will discuss your array and object. Okay. Says we-
One question, sir. If we take variable name only,
Hmm.
then it will work.
Yeah, that will also work. Okay.
But
Let's
name
see.
is like reserved keyword, na? So
Okay, name
sometimes it, yes,
means like this. Name is not a
yes,
reserved keyword, no?
okay. But I checked, so it give like blank value.
For is a reserved keyword, right? Name is not a reserved keyword.
No, give some value
For
and then check in debugger also. Then
name,
name and give
okay,
some
well
value.
understood.
Yes.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Okay.
of those are the reserved keyword, right?
Okay. Okay.
True. These are the reserved keyword that you cannot have. Huh. So one more rule you can add. So reserved keyword can't use as variable name. Like for if, right? Every technology will have some keywords reserved for its programming, right? So those you cannot use it over here. See, true. I'm not able to use giving error. Okay. For if not able to use. Okay. Name is perfectly fine. Understood? So like this small doubts you might have. So here only you can ask. You don't need to wait, right? Because we have 1 hour dedicated for one particular session. Get it clear everything because this is very basic fundamental. If this is clear now, you will feel that while working on Angular also you will be more confident. Any technology you take, if your basics are clear, you will be confident. Your logic will work. Your problem solving will be in the place. But if your basics are not clear, you will struggle in problem solving and your logic development. Right? Just to complete one task, there are multiple ways to complete one task. How many ways you can think of? That is nothing but your how good you are with logic development or problem solving. Right? In interview also nowadays, as I because of the AI and market, interview strategies and interview questions are totally changed. They are not limiting yourself to what is question. They will put out the scenario and they will ask you, what are the various ways how you can complete this task. Obviously, they will ask a scenario also like they know that yeah, multiple ways are there to complete this. Okay. So if your basics and fundamentals are right in place, then only you can have that much proper knowledge. Again, logic development doesn't come with basic fundamentals only. It comes with the experience. No one can teach you logic development, but yeah, if your basic fundamentals are clear over the years of experience, you develop your logic like that because you have seen so many scenarios. So whenever there is some task you have, so you will relate that task with some of the old scenarios or the old tasks you might have worked. Then you get you can think of some more ways to complete that also. That's how logic development works. Okay, fine. So I can limit today myself to this only. So every day we will talk one. For JavaScript I will need 2 weeks. Okay, even though some of you might be knowing all this, you might feel yeah I already know it, but again we have some members who might not know it or some new things you might learn. So 2 weeks only dedicated for JavaScript, like operator, functions, your for loop, if condition, array, object, storage, basic things only. Not hosting, not closure, not prototype, nothing. That we will cover in interview preparation only. Because even if I explain you that, you will forget, because those are the things which we don't use daily, right? So those we will keep it in the interview preparation only. Okay. For every task I have, for every topics I have the task created, I will start sharing that day after tomorrow. Okay. Like, and those are the tasks which will help you to build your logic. So many tasks are there what you cannot think. So you can see this is the batch 34. Most of the people who have been enrolled are properly working. Previously I used to just take the fresher, and I used to teach in Marathi also and Hindi also. But now again, because people are coming from YouTube, I cannot use the native language. So now it is English. But people who are from BBA, BSc background, those are also properly working. But before Corona they got placed. Now this is not a time that anyone can come into IT field and they will get a job. It's not that much easy now. But with my way of teaching, doesn't matter if you already have the knowledge or if you're not, right? Just trust my process, attend session regularly, complete the task whatever I'm giving. You will only tell me that, yeah, I feel more confident now, I'm good, I can work confidently on any project. Okay, without the AI help you will be able to work properly now. Just attend regularly, and don't limit yourself just till the topics. Be present till the project also. We have some people from last batch. Prakash is there. Who else is there? Prakash, you only are,
Me also, sir, Pooja.
right? So at the end, how many people are there from 50 people? Last batch was around 50. So in the last, when we started the project, around 30 were sitting. Once the project was in the mid, only 15 were there, and in the last, only 10 to 15 were people were joining. So when the project gets started, because if I'm working on the project and if I'm completing a task, I cannot use one topic, no? I have to use so many topics while completing a particular task. So if you have not done the practice and if your basic is not clear, then you get lost when we are working on the project. So that's what I'm saying. And again, even if I give so many pravachan, still same history will repeat. People won't sit in the project, but that is the main thing, because topic is not the main thing. Learning all those topic and how do you use that while working on the project, that is the main thing. So don't miss the project. Okay. uh, if you have attended demo session, you might have seen, right? So this is the last project, Kisan to Grahak. We have purchased a domain and we have live it. So it's a e-commerce application. Just payment integration we didn't do, but the whole cycle is there. Okay, whole cycle is there. Everything we have done. So the sorting, searching. Let's see if I select millets, apply filter. We don't have it. Fresh fruits. Or this also we don't have dairy product with. See, everything is we have done, orders and everything you can see, add to cart, whole application we have completed. Again, each day we were just completing one module. Let's say one session we just completed rendering this list in in that one day we shown the list, we have shown the criteria, on click of it we filter it. This is what we did, this is what we did in one day. So it's not like in 1 hour I'm completing whole project. For completing this whole project, we took almost 15 days. So the same speed will get followed. But again, if you didn't pay attention while completing the basic topic, if you didn't complete the task for every topic, you will feel lost when project will start. Because when I add to cart, once I add to cart, here also it should change. Na? So here we use the subject. API call also we did. In API call, we change the subject. See, if I'm placing an add to cart, see, it got changed. So component communication was there. So if you didn't if you didn't do the practice of your subject or behavior subject, you won't understand this, because in one session I did the API call, post API call, creating object, and then again making the again emitting the value of the subject, and there I'm receiving again triggering the updated value to get the API call. So many things happen at the same time when we work on the project task. Okay. So this is the main thing. What you are going to pay me for that, not for just the basic topic. So be there till the project. If not, you are only, what do we say, you are wasting your money simply. A project is the main thing. Okay. And again, those who are we don't have any fresher, only one or two people I think we have fresher. So those who can definitely add this as a live project in your CV. But we have so many people who are working, but again, you don't have a very proper project, or you didn't get a chance to work from one project which started from basic and to the production. So this is your chance to see the full journey. Ki how does project get started from requirement gathering and to the production. So we, while working on the company, how we follow, same thing we follow. Now from previous batch, 2 or 3 people are only working in this project. We completed everything, but again, since it has to be a production kind of field, so some things we are working. So like farmer, I think Tanvi is not there, right? So some people are raising the PR, then I check the code and I'm merging it, then they only have the access to the control panel, they are deploying it, right? So like these things are there. Okay. So it's your responsibility, work on your task. We are not freshers, so I cannot remind every time that complete the task and not. It's your responsibility, be mature, complete the task, attend regularly. That is the only thing I will expect from you. Remaining thing, you don't have to worry. I'm good with teaching. This is not my first time. I know how to teach, how to get you on the right track, right? But you have to trust, follow my process. That is what is expected. Okay. Yeah. Anyone having any question now?
Sir, how can I get source code of this project? Kisan to Grahak.
I will share it to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine. Anyone having any doubt? Else we are good to close.
Will you provide all the recordings of the sessions?
Yeah. Once the session is done, I will provide you the recording.
Sure. Thanks.
Fine. Thank you all. Thanks for joining.